Come on to the stage, Amy. We're glad that you're here, and we are building Ohio right behind us.
Hello, everybody. I'm Amy Hanauer. I'm the Executive Director of Policy Matters Ohio. It's a think tank, and actually it's a think tank devoted to good jobs and strong communities. So you can find us at policymattersohio.org. And I was asked to talk today about jobs and opportunities for working people. And I'm here tonight with my daughter in the audience, but I can remember when her older brother was little and furious with me for punishing him for something or other. And I overheard him muttering to himself, as little kids will do, about how unfair I was. She might care about the working people, I heard him say, but she doesn't care about me. Well, I do care about my kids, regardless of whether they always understand that or believe that. But he was right that I've devoted my career to thinking about work. Because from my perspective, a healthy community, a healthy Ohio, starts with good jobs. And it has enough jobs so that everyone can contribute and everyone can thrive. We are not achieving that right now in Ohio. But here's the thing. As Pastor Aaron said, Ohio was once a place where workers came for good jobs and strong communities. And many workers thrived here, in large part, and this is the important part, because of public investments and protections. The minimum wage and strong unions meant that jobs paid decently and came with health and pension benefits. The big investments that the state was making in higher ed and K-12 and infrastructure meant that companies had access to well-trained workers, high-quality research, well-maintained roads, bridges, freight lines. In manufacturing, we had some of the best trained workers and the top infrastructure on the planet, and we still do. But unfortunately, over the past generation, federal and state policies have let wages erode and jobs vanish. Declines in the minimum wage, barriers to joining unions, bad trade deals, and a breakdown in the social contract let companies cut wages, eliminate benefits, destroy career ladders, and move jobs around like pieces on a game board. We should not allow that. We should be seeing the words "made in Ohio" again. But in order to see those words again, we need to start protecting workers. Now, a lot of you probably saw a joke circulating on Facebook a month or two ago where a CEO and a union worker and a non-union worker are sitting at a table in front of a platter of 100 cookies. The CEO grabs 99 of the cookies, and then he yells at the non-union worker, "Watch out, that union guy's trying to get your cookie." Well, the fact is that one guy is definitely monopolizing 99 of the cookies right now in Ohio and in America. The top 1% of Americans now take in a quarter of the nation's income every year. And they control 40% of the wealth in this country is controlled by the top 1% of the people. That's not the America that I thought we were supposed to be about. And while incomes at the top have spiked, those in the middle are actually seeing their incomes fall. Those in the bottom are seeing their incomes fall. All the growth is going to the top. We're going to continue in this direction unless we demand change. And seeing this group out here tonight demanding change is part of the solution. In Ohio, unemployment is now at 9%, and that's the official unemployment rate. And we all know that there are lots of people who aren't officially unemployed but don't have good jobs or don't get enough hours or aren't in the jobs that they want to be in. And it's not, we've got 525,000 Ohioans right now searching for work. And it's no surprise because we lost a staggering 650,000 jobs over the past decade in Ohio. Not just in the recession, in good times and bad, because of the bad trade policies that we've put through. About 1 out of every 8 jobs in this state has gone away. Even for those who've stayed, quality of jobs has declined. And to give a sense of how families are struggling, a record 4 out of every 10 school kids in Ohio now qualifies for subsidized lunch. So you might think nothing's getting better, but you'd be wrong, because in fact, worker productivity continues to increase sharply in the past few years. It's just that working people are no longer sharing in the gains that they are contributing. So they're helping build the economy, they're helping build Ohio, they're helping build the wealth, they're just not getting their share. We've had an entire lost generation when it comes to wage growth in this state. Before the 80s, when our economy grew, so did the income of our people. But Ohio's going backwards now. It does not, however, it does not have to stay that way. Now, although more and better jobs are what Ohio most needs, Kasich's budget is sure to lead to dramatic job loss. And we all know what the gutting of collective bargaining will do for Ohio workers. So they're still trying to take us backwards. In fact, Governor Kasich made it pretty clear how much he wants to take us backwards when he gave $7.7 million to Bob Evans restaurants to keep them in Ohio, even though their CEO is already paid $3.9 million, according to the AFL-CIO. When Kasich gave away our taxpayer money to Bob Evans, he didn't say anything about how they should treat their workers. No standards. That's why, a couple weeks later, he could be quoted saying that Bob Evans workers get shabby benefits, and that he's trying to gut public sector compensation to restore fairness. So I guess he wants public workers in Ohio to get shabby benefits as well. Well, John Kasich is right that benefits are a problem. Retirement and health coverage have dropped. But where he's wrong is in thinking that we're going to stand by and let our jobs continue to disappear, let our pay continue to plunge, and let our benefits continue to get shabbier. It's shabby. It's time to stand up for good jobs and strong communities. And here are 5 pieces of the puzzle that I'd like to see. First, sign the petitions and work to restore collective bargaining rights to public sector workers. We know that that's a no-brainer. Second, demand a better state budget that restores revenue so we don't add to the already deep ranks of Ohio's unemployed workers. There are lots of good ways to do this, and I think somebody later is going to say more about it. But starting with restoring taxes on the top 10% who can afford to pay and are benefiting the most from our economy and have had their taxes cut. Third, we need to preserve a safety net to protect Ohioans who can't find good jobs. We take care of each other in Ohio. We always have, and we need to now. I'm going to turn my page.
2 minutes.
Fourth, reserve precious state and local economic development dollars for employers who have good, not shabby compensation. And finally, we need to reinvest, whether through more federal stimulus or more state spending, but we could be employing tens or hundreds of thousands of Ohioans, retrofitting every building in this state, building parts to go into trains and renewable energy products, cleaning up our communities, improving our infrastructure, expanding broadband, providing early child care and education so kids can enter school ready to learn. There is plenty of work to be done in this state. It's work that can make Ohio better, it can make our communities stronger, it can make our kids smarter, our families less trouble, and our energy use cleaner. There is no excuse for letting hundreds of thousands of Ohioans sit idle when they want to work and our communities need them. All right, almost 120 years ago, Samuel Gompers, then president of the American Federation of Labor, was asked what labor wanted, and he said, "We want more schoolhouses and less jails. More books and less arsenals. More learning and less vice. More constant work and less crime. More leisure and less greed. More justice and less revenge. In fact, more opportunities to cultivate our better natures." Gompers said those words in 1893. Things continue to get worse for the better part of the next half century. These struggles are not for the impatient. But in between when Gompers spoke and now, America did much. to start moving toward his vision. And Ohio often led the way. It is time to resume moving forward. So I sometimes make fun of the organization that pulled together this rally today. Is it Stand Up for Ohio? Is it Stand Up Ohio? Or is it Stand Up for Good Jobs and Strong Communities? Well, the fact is, we need to do all three. Stand Up Ohio. Stand Up for Ohio. And stand up for good jobs and strong communities. And I'm going to start by putting the first piece back in the puzzle. What Ohio needs is jobs, and this is the piece of the puzzle that gets jobs back to Ohio. Thank you.